ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु निराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ इत्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ॐ इति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम् पेज 325। एष तु वा अतिवदते यः सत्येनातिवदते सोऽहं भगवत्सत्येनातिवदानीते सत्यं चैव विजिज्ञासितव्यमिति सत्यं भगवो विजिज्ञास इति। शेष नारदः सर्वाकर्षं प्राणं समात्मानं सर्वात्मानं श्रुत्वा शेष नारदः, the Narada were so far taught by Sayyid Sanat Kumara, which concluded into beginning from Nama, what is Prana? Pranam Sarvatmanam. The Prana is Sarvatma, the self of all. Prana eva etani sarvani bhavati. So Prana alone is Pita, Mata, Bhrata, Swasa, Acharya, Brahmana. Prana eva etani sarvani bhavati. He alone becomes all of this. Sthirani chalani cha. Whatever is stationary, whatever is moving, Prana alone becomes all of this. So Prana is Sarvatma, the self of all. Sam Atmanam. And that Prana, who is Sarvatma, the self of all, is to be meditated upon as one's own self. That is the Ahangraha Upasana. So superimpose the idea of prana upon one's own self, as a result of which one attains identification with prana, one becomes sarvatma like prana is. Natah paramasteti uparara. Somehow, says Narada, fell from this teaching. Natah paramasti. There is nothing greater than that to achieve now. This is what? This is the end of it. This is what I was seeking. So no doubt, says Narada is seeking to know Brahma. Adi bhago Brahma iti. So when Sanat Kumara taught this, he concluded that this is Brahma. Natah paramasti. There is nothing beyond this. Iti upararama. And therefore, he became silent. He became contented. On what basis do you say that? Says Narada was contented. Na purvat kimasti bhagavah pranabhairupapracha. So in each previous case, Narada was asking, Bhagavah kimasti bhuyah. Is there something greater than nama, vak, all the way to asha? Ashaya bhuyasti kim. Is there something greater than asha, prana? But did not ask this question, is there something greater than prana? So the fact that he asked that question in each earlier case means that he felt that there is something greater than this, something greater than this. Meaning that even after realizing asha as one's own self, he did not feel satisfied or contented that I have got everything that I need. But somehow with prana, he did not feel, he felt it was okay, this is what he wanted. Yataha, but Sanat Kumara says, Yataha tam evam vikara anuta brahma vijnanena. So prana is indeed Brahma, but vikara anutam Brahma. Prana is vikara. What is vikara? Modification. That which is created is vikara, is modification. Etasmat jayate prana. From this Brahman, prana is born. So prana is birth, prana is beginning. That which is beginning also will have an end, which means prana is perishable. So vikari is changing. And whatever is perishable, whatever is changing, cannot be real because Satyam is abadhitam. So that is called Satyam, which cannot be negated, which is not subject to change. It is changeless. Whereas prana is subject to change. Therefore, it cannot be Satyam in the sense of abadhitam. So it is Anutam, Mithya. It's Brahman alright. But Vikar, Anutam Brahma. Brahman is qualified by being Vikari, changing, and the false or Mithya. So Brahma Vijnanena, by the knowledge or realization of Brahman such as that, Paritushtam. So, Paritushtam. So Pashyan, seeing that my disciple is Paritushta, he is contented with the realization of prana. Akrutartham. But Sanat Kumara knew that one cannot attain Kritarthata or total fulfillment with this knowledge. So even though momentarily, says Narada seems to have gained that Kritarthata or fulfillment, it cannot be everlasting fulfillment. So, why was Sage Narada contented? Paramad Satya Ativadinam Atmanam Manyamanam. Atmanam Manyamanam. Believing that I am what? Paramat Satya. So, the wise person is Ativadi. So, this Ativaditvam is this Upanishad presents Ativaditvam, meaning that Vaditvam, talking, speaking, Ativadinam, transcending everything. So, he talks, while he talks, he transcends everything. Assuming that you are what you talk. So, therefore, when he talks that which transcends everything, that means that he transcends everything. That is what? So, the fact that he transcends everything manifests itself in his expression. Therefore, ativaditvam, to become one who transcends everything. And how do you know that you become one who transcends everything? In whatever you do, talk means whatever you do. So in whatever you do, whatever you talk, in all vyavahara, you are expressing yourself, whatever you are. So whatever your knowledge about yourself is what is manifest through you. So ativadinam means one who transcends everything. It will be transcend something or the other, depending on what you know yourself to be. But the wise person knows himself as transcending everything. Entire name and form, because he knows himself adhishtanam, the substratum, upon which the entire universe, beginning from name all the way to prana, is superimposed upon which the adhishtanam, paramartha satyam, this is what he knows himself to be. And his knowledge, his realization, he has become that being manifests in his vyavahara, in his words. So to become ativadi, transcending everything beyond which there is nothing. So everybody is ativadi, one who knows himself as vak, at least he transcends the nama. One who knows himself as mind transcends speech. Knows him sankalpa, so each one keeps transcending. Ativaditvam is there. But ativaditvam of the nature of transcending whatever there is, transcending everything. That is the characteristic of a wise person. That's how this Upanishad presents that as the lakshanam or characteristic of the wise person. So sage Narada thought that I become ativadi. There is nothing more to transcend. So paramartha satya ativadinam atmanam manyamanam. Believing that I am the one who is paramartha satya, that I have the nature of absolute reality, which transcends everything. That's what I am. So equating prana to be absolute reality. And therefore, believing that I am identified with absolute reality, that I transcend everything, manyamanam. Pashyan, seeing the shishya, मिथ्याग्रह विशेषात् विप्रत्यावयन्, and therefore dislodging him from, separating him from, turning him away from his present belief. Mithyagraha vishesha, but this is mithyagraha. So what is mithyagraha? Pranayavayadi paramatmani narada brahmaha tadirikta atmana ajnanat. Not knowing that there is an atma, that is beyond prana, not knowing that, he thinks prana to be param brahma, that I am param brahma or absolute reality. So that's a mithyagraha. Nasti pranat paramiti abhimana. This notion of conclusion that there is nothing superior to or greater than prana. So mithyagraha visheshat vipratyavayan. So drawing him away from that false conclusion. Because I am as good as my conclusion. I am as good as my perception of myself. So whatever be at any time, whatever be my perception of myself, that's what I am. And that is what Vedanta seeks to do, is to change our perception of ourselves. But changing perception of myself cannot be merely an intellectual process. By reasoning, I have the potential, the possibility as to what I can be. But that intellectual understanding has to be translated into a conviction. One has to see that fact. One has to become that fact. Now, Vedanta doesn't see the need of becoming, but as though becoming. So, whatever it is that is depriving you of the benefit of your being Param Brahma, there is something that deprives you. Call it ignorance. And so, call it veiling, avaranam, vikshepa, however you define it. हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखम सत्यस्य मुखम हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण अपि हितं. The face of the truth of the self is somehow hidden. Tattvam pushan napavrano. Hey Pushan, O Lord, please remove that veil, remove that curtain. And so it is not that you have to create, you have to make Atma as Brahman, but then whatever deprives you of the benefit of your being Brahman, that has to be removed. So that Atma manifests itself as Brahman. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gurotmana prakashave. Sarveshu bhuteshu gudha atma. The self is as though hidden or lodged in all beings. Na prakashate, but Atma does not reveal itself as Brahman. Atma always reveals, it is self-revealing, but does not reveal itself as Brahman. So Atma has to reveal itself as Brahman. I am Brahman, Atma has to say that, or we have to know that, we have to see that fact. So you call it knowledge, seeing, realizing, whatever you want to call it. With words, you can have exception. But the fact is that right now you are what you are. So you see yourself as you find yourself to be. So you have to find yourself to be different from what you are. You find yourself to be Brahman. So realize yourself to be Brahman. Experience yourself to be Brahman. See yourself to be Brahman. Know yourself to be Brahman. Whatever expression you use. But right now I have a perception about myself, which I have not determined. It determines itself. What my perception of myself is not determined by me. It's determined by the self, the way it manifests itself. So Atma manifests itself as whatever it does, and that is my perception. Meaning that I have to, a basic transformation has to happen in me for the perception to change. Meaning changing perception is not merely an intellectual process. It calls for a complete transformation of my being. So simply intellectual things unaccompanied by an appropriate lifestyle, an appropriate transformation in thinking, an appropriate upasana, it doesn't work. Meaning that my whole thinking process has to also get transformed. That's what I am. I am what my mind is. So I may not acknowledge what my mind is and I declare myself intellectual. So intellect is one thing and mind is a habitual faculty. So I am not what my intellect is, what my understanding is. I am what my mind is. What my habitual faculty is, because my mind it is that conducts all vyavahara. Even intellect also has to function through the mind only. And therefore, regardless of what my intellect is, the way world sees me is what my mind is. The habitual faculty is, the reacting faculty is, you know. So that is where all raga, dvesha, etc. have, that is where the question of the, so yogyam shishyam, the yogyata or the qualification comes there. So viveka, vairagya is fine, but then samadhi shuddha sampatti is the translation of viveka and vairagya into my being. So when viveka and vairagya become myself, that's called samadhi shuddha sampatti. So as we do that, our own perception about ourselves changes. So of course, we can keep on suggesting to our mind constantly that, hey, you are this, you are this, you are this. Yes, that also is one thing. At the same time, we should do whatever is required for mind to change its own perception. It's transforming the mind. So therefore, he sees himself as Ativadi. He finds himself as Ativadi. So, Sanat Kumara finds that he has not yet accomplished that. And without that accomplishment, he thinks that I am accomplished. So he may go away from here momentarily feeling accomplished, and later on, naham bhogyam pashyami. Later on, he'll find that no, this is not right. Therefore, yogyam shishyam. And Sanat Kumara says the shishya is yogi. Therefore, he takes the initiative. So even though the general rule is that you should not volunteer this teaching unless asked for, Ana Prashna Vibruyu Guravaha Dina Vatsalaha. The Gurus are Dina Vatsalaha. They are the love Vatsalaha. The love who are Dina, meaning those who are surrendered, those who are humble. You find the disciple humble. Humility is there. Then automatically the Vatsalya, the love of the Guru, showers on him. So even though disciple may not ask for it, he, on his own initiative, volunteers. Thus Sanat Kumar also volunteered. Aha, Bhagavan Sanat Kumar. Now he volunteers to continue the discourse. So in the line 38, the Tikakara Esha Shabdasya tu Shabdena Purva Prakarana Buddhi Vichedat Atha Esha Jyotihiti Atraiva or Atraiva Vakshamana Paramasitvam Iti Aha. That comes later. Okay, so then the Bhashya continues in the 6th line. Esha tu vai Ativadati Yamaham Vakshami न प्राणविद अतिवादी परमार्थतः नामादि अपेक्षन्तु तस्य अतिवादित्वम् एषु तु वै अतिवदति. However, अतिवदति, he transcends in his speech. So one who transcends everything in his speech. What kind of ativaditvam you mean? So yam aham vakshyami. I'm not yet told you. And you think that you know? So I have not yet told you in how. So yamaham vakshyami. About that, about which I will tell you. So when you become ativadi, by knowing that, which I am going to tell you about, then there is all the reason for you to be contented. So there the Tikakara says, Esha Shabdasya Tu Shabdena Pura Prakarana Buddhi Vichchedat. So Shruti says, Esha Tu Vai Ativadati. The Esha Shabdasya Tu Shabdena Pura Prakarana Buddhi Vichchedat. Esha means this, not the fellow who is referred to in the previous passage. Because Esha is Sarvanama. So, Sarvanama should only refer to what is already under discussion. A pronoun should only refer to what is under discussion. So, you would think that Esha, this one, the pronoun, refers to the one who was mentioned in the earlier one. So, evam vijanan ativadi bhavate esha. So one would think that the passage refers to the same ativadi as that was mentioned in the previous passage. So Tikakara says, no, the two shabda. So tu shabdena pura prakarana buddhi vichchedat. So buddhi means what? In the pura prakarana, in the previous passage, whatever you heard is what is in your mind right now. Then the context is of the one who transcends his speech by knowing prana. Yes, that's what you were thinking. That's what was the instruction in the last passage. So that's in your mind. Buddhi means that is what is in your mind. So Esha looks like there is the continuation of the description of the same person. So Esha tu, however, meaning look, we are talking now about a different person. Esha is not the same person as the one mentioned in the previous passage. So, Pura Prakarana Buddhi Vichchedat, the teacher wants that our Buddhi should now turn away from what was the previous context and now should become ready for the new thing that is being told now. So, two Shabdas, Prakarana Vichcheda, new Prakarana begins. Now is the instruction of a new entity. Sanat Kumara says, what we are talking about now is not the same entity that was talked about in the previous passage. We are now talking about a new entity. Therefore, hey Narada, now drop what you had in your mind as a result of the previous context and be ready now to understand what new thing is being told. That's important. So Bada Swami used to say, in Viveka Chudamani, when you change the meter, now the teacher wants to be. So when same meter, then you get, into the same mood. When meter changes, then you just, become alert. Oh, something new is coming. So the teacher gives some indication. So tu Shabda does that. However, now Atha Esha Jyotihiva iti atraiva, I don't know what that is. Vakshamana Paramarshitvam. I think it comes in the 8th chapter. Atha Esha Jyotihi iti atraiva Vakshamana Paramarshitvam. Vakshamana Paramarshitvam is what? Bringing to the mind what is being told, what is to be told. Vakshamana means what is to be told. Paramarsha means bringing to the mind. Vakshamana Paramarshitvam, meaning bringing to the mind what is going to be told. Not keeping in mind what has been told, but now bring in your mind what is to be told. So drop from your mind what is told and be ready to grasp what is to be told. Atha Esha Jyotihi. So Atha means now Thereafter, the Atha is what? Prakarana Vicheda. Atha refers to now something new that we are telling. Jyotihi. Like that here also, that too is Vakshamana Paramarsitvam. The teacher wants that the disciple should now be ready for Paramarsha, for deliberating upon Vakshamana, what is now going to be told. Yamaham Vakshyami, Bhashyakara says. Shruti doesn't say that. But based on the word tu, which is Arthabhakti. So on the strength of the word tu, Bhashyakara says this is a new prakarana. So Yamaham Vakshyami. Isha, this fellow, not the one knows about prana, the one who knows about what I am going to talk about now. So even Isha means the one present. Isha means one who knows what I am going to talk about. So, what are you going to talk about? So it says, Tu Shabda Dyotyam Arthamaha. What is the word tu in fact read? Dyotyam. The tu in fact illumines something. So what the word tu illumines? Arthamaha na prana. So that tu says na pranavit ativadi paramarthataha. So thing is the word ativadi alone is used. The previous passage also the word ativadi is used. In this passage also the word ativadi is used. So what's the difference? Therefore one may be inclined to think that same ativadi is being talked about. Yesh ativadi. Says no. Tu says that this is a different ativadi. Why different? Na pranavit ativadi, even though for pranavit, even though for the knower of prana, the word ativadi was used by the Shruti, is not ativadi in the true sense. Na paramatataha. The knower of prana is not ativadi, not a transcender of speech in a real sense. See the Tika. Katham tarhi tasya ativaditvam uktam. If pranavit, if knower of prana is not ativadi in a true sense, then why did the teacher say that he is ativadi? So, evam vijana ativadi bhavati. Why was he called ativadi? Vyasangya apekshikatvat tat ativaditvasya. That ativaditvam. The ativaditvam of the knower of prana was apekshikam, was relative to something, not absolute. So something is great, great relative to something. But the great, when you say. So great mountain is also, greatness is relative. Greater galaxy. But the great, when you say, it is not relative to something, it is greatness without relating to anything. Meaning greatness with no boundaries, boundless greatness. So ativaditvam, transcending the speech which was referred to in the case of the knower of prana, was in a relative sense, relative to what was stated earlier up to asha. Meaning that he transcends, when he says he transcends everything up to asha, the hope, he transcends everything. But aparmarthikam taduktam. But still, even prana also is not paramarthika. That adivaditvam was not paramarthikam adivaditvam. No, this is what Bhashyakara. See, this is where the different acharyas may have different, interpretations. To fit in what you want to fit in. So look at footnote number 1. Shodasha khande kathitam satya shabdena param brahma grahyam. Yes, satyena ativadate. So one who transcends by realizing satyam, he is ativadi in the real sense. So this word Satya used in this passage is Param Brahma Grahyam. Tasya Havai Tasya Brahmo Nama Satyam. In the 8th chapter, that this name of Brahman is Satyam. This is said by Ramanuja. Satyam Jnanam Brahma Ityadi Smrite iti Uktam Ramanujiye. They said that this Satyam is Param Brahma because Satya is Param Brahma elsewhere. Evam Sri Mritika Ityeva Satyam. But then, Upani Mritika Ityeva Satyam. So the word Satyam has to mean Parama Satyam. Then, Ityatra Arthantaram. So there, you know what they say? So Mritika Ityeva Satyam there. Ramanuja means followers of sage Ramanuja said Pramanikam. So there is Mritika Ityeva Satyam. The clay alone is real. Everybody knows that clay is not absolute reality. So Pramanikam. So that was Satyam was interpreted as Pramanikam. So you are not interpreting Satyam as Parama Satyam everywhere. So your interpretation of Satya as Param Brahma is based on the word Satya being used in the sense of Param Brahma in some places, but Shruti does not use the word Satya as Param Brahma everywhere. So also you interpreted the word Satya as Pramanikam. Iti Vyakhya Kathitam Katham Yujyate Anekaarthatvasya Anyayatvat. So Vedanta doesn't mean Satya means Param Brahma. Ramanuja says Satya means Param Brahma, and for that the justification is Tasya Havaya Tasya Brahmano Nama Satyam Satyam Jnanantam. See, in all these places where Satya is used in the sense of Param Brahma. But we say that what about Mritika Ityeva Satyam? So that even they also did not interpret word Satya as Param Brahma, as Pramanika. So how do you interpret word Satyam differently in different places? One word cannot have different meanings, more than one meanings. Anekaarthatvasya anyayatvat. It is not right that one word should have more than one meaning. A word should only one meaning. So, for a word to be pramanam, it should only one meaning consistently. If here the word means one thing, elsewhere word, then your mind will be confused. Then word will not be pramanam. Word is pramanam, valid means of knowledge, provided a word consistently means the same thing. So to say Satyam means Param Brahma is not right. What about you Vedantins? What do you say? Asmagam abhavis Satyam means abhaditam. Asmagam abhaditam ityartha. That abhaditatvam will apply to Param Brahma as well as to Mritika. Why? Mritika tu ghatadi apeksha satya, Brahma tu sarva apeksha api satyam ityam visheshna. Satyam is abhaditam. Mritika abhaditam with reference to a part, and Param Brahma abhaditam with reference to everything. So first Satyam is abhaditam, not Param Brahma. Anyway, just give a punch here and there, on the way. So, for our clarification also. These footnotes are given for our own clarification also. So Bhashyakara says, so that is where, now understand that this is Bhashyakara's interpretation. Yamaham Vakshyami. Ativadi mentioned in the previous passage is different from Ativadi mentioned in this passage. Because of course Upanishad, Yah Satyena Ativadati says that. So that is why Yamaham Vakshyami is what Sanat Kumara says. That this Ativadi is one who is Ativadi on account of realization of what I am going to say, not Prana but Satya. न प्राणविद अतिवादी परमात्मा नावादी अपेक्षन्तु तस्य अतिवादित्वम. His Ativaditvam is only relative to Nama up to Asha, but not absolute Ativaditvam. तरी मुख्य अतिवादी कहे क्या संख्या है? Then who is the mukhya ativadi? If ativadi mentioned in the previous passage was a apekshik ativadi, meaning a relative ativadi, then who is absolute means what? Not in relation to anything. So when you say apekshik means what? Is applicable under only certain conditions. It is a conditional ativaditvam. Absolute means unconditional ativaditvam. At any time, at any place, under any circumstances, that's called absolute. The Jains don't accept it, by the way. They say there is nothing absolute. Because syadavad, syad. So everything is relative. This is what their interpretation is. It is as far as the world is concerned. But that's not absolute reality. So this is syad is okay. Syad means mithya. We say syad means mithya. You can't say this is so and that is so. We accept as far as the creation is concerned, not as far as the truth is concerned. Anyway, so then kastarhi mukhyativadi iti asankyaha yastu iti. What does Anandagiri say? So katham tari pranavedativadi muktam. So namadi apeksham. Kastari paramadi. He also is saying yastu iti. Kastari paramad ativadi bhavati iti kas yastu. So who is ativadi in the real sense? So Bhashyakara yastu iti. Yastu bhumakhyam sarvatikrantam tattvam parmata satyam veda saha ativade ityatah aha. So here Swami Bhashyakara has covered everything. Yastu bhumakhyam. So what you will find after several passages, what is the bhumakhyam? So bhuma is the akhya, or the name of which. So what is known as bhuma? Sarvadikrantam, which in fact transcends everything. Bhuma, what is known as bhuma, is that which transcends everything. Sarvadikrantam, tattvam, parmata satyam. So Satya also can be relative, Satya also can be absolute. So therefore, Vedanta accepts Satya of different reality, different degrees. There is Pratibhasikam Satyam. There is the subjective Satyam reality. Vyavaharikam Satyam, the objective reality. Of Paramadikam Satyam, the absolute reality. So Vedanta does accept Satyam of different categories, but the Pratibhasikam and Vyavaharikam is called Satyam for the sake of, because we take it to be Satyam. Or some kind of reality it does have. It is not non-existent. So it has some kind of reality. But not Paramadikam, not absolute reality. So, Bhashyakara says, Yata Paramata Satyam Veda. So one who realizes what is known as Bhuma, and here Bhuma stands for what? Paramata Satyam. Bhuma stands for absolute reality. Because the earlier chapter used the word Sat. This chapter is the word Bhuma. Other chapter will use yet other word, So different words are used for the same entity, same reality. So Paramartha Satyam Veda Sahativaditi. So one knows Bhuma or Brahman, which is the absolute reality. So Ativaditvam, that he attains as a result of knowing the self as absolute reality, is the Ativaditvam in the true sense, in the absolute sense, in the non-relative sense. So without reservation, without unconditional without or unconditional sense. Ityatah aha. That being the case, therefore Sanat Kumara says this. So this is where the contribution of Bhashyakara is, apart from explaining, but filling in the gaps. Uktam, Anuktam. Duruktam doesn't come here. Uktam, Anuktam. So what gaps are doing? This is very important gap to be filled in. Duruktam, Furuktam to nahi chalta hai, bhai, this is Pramanam. Shruti is Pramanam, so Duruktam cannot be. So in Bhashyakara, Uktam and Anuktam. Not Duruktam. Anyatha Uktam meaning that a word can be interpreted in a manner different from the literal meaning, but not this word is wrong. That this is wrongly said? No, that is never. His devotion for Shruti is just too much. I do not know that we possess that kind of devotion for anybody, really. We question everybody, including most revered people also. Wait a minute, this person has said this here, so we question that. So we might be revering a person exceedingly and still are not ready to accept every word and everything that the person does. We have our own criterion of who the Pramanam is, and therefore we may or may not accept anybody or anything as absolute Pramanam. For Bhashyakara, Shruti is Pramanam, unquestionable. So for us, Bhashyakara becomes Pramanam in that sense, But then what Bhashyakara says also needs interpretation, because his disciples have interpreted what he has said in many ways, So therefore in Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta also, there is no dispute about Tattvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi. Not dispute, but difference of opinion about what Bhashyakara means. Whether Shravanam is Angam, Advaita is Angin, whatever is. So, this kind of details, whether Eka Jivavada, Aneka Jivavada, Eka Jnanam, Aneka Jnanam, all these things, there are differences of opinion. But each Acharya believes that Prakriya is most effective. Without Prakriyas. Ajnanam itself is a Prakriya anyway, so beginning from, so it's a model. Ignorance also is a model. But that is why even there itself, from there it starts. What is the nature of ignorance? From there the difference starts. Mula Vidya, Tula Vidya, this, that. So, therefore, there you may have preference there. Whether you follow the Bhamati Prasthanam, Vivarana Prasthanam, and there also this Prasthanam, that Prasthanam. This is what happens. What Buddha said is what he said. Then there are 4 schools of thought interpreting what Buddha said. There are many more, who knows. 4 are principal ones. No, this is what he means. This is what he said at that time. He says he must have said millions of things in number of places, addressing different audiences, depending on what he thought was appropriate. But how to interpret what he said depends upon the individual. All I am saying is why these differences come, and that's all right. Nothing to fight about, nothing to hang on to. Take good from whatever they say and go ahead with it, that's all. So therefore don't become too rigid. I follow only this, follow that. If it helps you, follow, discard everything. But it's up to you whether you want to keep your mind open or not. It's up to you. You don't have to accept other things also. If this one helps you, go ahead and do that. That's all. What is important is for you. Most important is what helps me. But if I find that somebody does not conform to what I believe, then give them the room. Okay? Give them the room. And bless them. That's all. So that we will not be troubled. The thing is that we get troubled When somebody does not exactly follow what we think is what is to be followed, then we get trouble in really in what way, we start doubting what we are following. How come that fellow follows that? So openly, outwardly I dismiss that person, useless, no good. But inwardly perhaps I question, whether my understanding is the real, then I have to keep on justifying my understanding and keep on dismissing that. It becomes a big burden. You may want to do that for your own clarity, etc. That's okay, but should not become emotional process. That's all I'm saying. So this intellectual thing turns into emotional. That's the problem. Emotional means then there is a reaction and there is a partiality, etc. Intellectually, you can threadbare, analyze everything that you want with an open mind. Open mind is not an emotional mind, that's all. Okay, so where are we now? So here, so that is why Bhashyakara interprets, what the Upanishad says. This is where other acharyas may have their own interpretation, and that is where the differences would come. So be sympathetic to them. To Vishishta Advaita and to Dvaita and Dvaita, Advaita, whatever it is, don't accept it, but be sympathetic. Don't get angry at them. Don't be emotional. Don't react. They are not ordinary people. Those who say are not ordinary people at all. And they are not merely saying intellectually, they have spent their whole life in realizing whatever they are talking. Therefore, if you don't want to learn from them, okay. I'm not saying that you keep your mind so open that you keep on going everywhere, and that also may be confusing, but at the same time, we need not condemn or dismiss other fellows. But what I'm saying is how the text gives room for a possible different interpretations. It's always there. Because when you're talking, you're never that, sometimes you may not be that consistent or that thorough. You have this disciple in mind and you're talking to that person and you are concerned about that one, not about the whole world. Even though we say that Bhagavad Gita is taught to Arjuna keeping the whole world in mind, but still Arjuna is Arjuna. He is in front of Lord Krishna. So it is likely that Arjuna is kept in mind by Lord Krishna because his well-being is most at his heart, And that is called scripture where Arjuna's well-being also happens to be everybody's well-being. But still the whole world may not fit into that, To insist that Christianity is absolute and it should solve everybody's problem is stupid. Anybody. There is nothing that can solve all the problems in the world. Everybody claims. And perhaps they are right also. But then what the prophet has said has to be properly interpreted in this context. Then maybe what he has said solves all the problems. But not the way somebody is interpreted or you interpret and expect that what we interpret is a way to interpret to solve all the problems. And if you don't interpret, then you are wrong, etc. So this is not spiritual, it's all political. Problems are more emotional, political, and not really spiritual. Anyway, we are getting distracted. But the thing is, Suttari Mukhyativadika Yastu iti. Okay, so Sanat Kumara aha the ityataha. Therefore, Sanat Kumara says, Yogyam Shishyam Mithya Graha Vishesha Vipratyavayam. Sanat Kumara, the teacher, wants to turn the disciple away from his conclusion, this logic. And because what the student has concluded is not right. And therefore, he needs to be told more clearly. Therefore, Sanat Kumara says, So again, we just look at the tika. Namadi prananta anu sarva padartha atikramat tasya paramatma. So sarva atikrantam. Yastu bhumakyam sarvatikrantam sarva. Means what? Namadi prananta anuta sarva padartha atikramat tasya. Paramadik satyam bhuma or Brahman is that which transcends everything, beginning from nama all the way to prana. Because Anruta, all of the Anruta, however great the prana is, it is still Anruta. Prana is Hiranyagarbha, not an ordinary thing, it is the highest thing that you can ever imagine, but that is also Anruta. So, that means what extent of Vairagya Vedanta calls for. Hiranyagarbha is the highest achievement and accomplishment that one can have. But you to transcend that also. You can transcend something provided you let go. Meaning that only when there is anasakti, that means when there is fear of detachment even from the Hiranyagarbha. And what all it stands for? It is the locus of all the Kriya Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, it is the locus of everything. Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi. But still that Sarvajnatvam, Sarvashaktitvam, etc. is what? Is still at the level of Upadhi. So Hiranyagarbha is the most exalted Upadhi, but it's still Upadhi. So when age of Hiranyagarbha comes to an end, that also will not be there. As long as Hiranyagarbha is alive, so long Sarvajnatvam is there. But even he also comes to an end. When his lifespan comes to an end, then what? So Vedanta doesn't want even that kind of restriction. Vedanta means that truth doesn't admit even of that kind of a restriction. So Anruta sarva padartha atikramat tasya. Since bhuma sarvatikrantam, because it transcends everything beginning from nama to prana. Tasya paramarthatvam, therefore that bhuma alone is paramartha, meaning what? Is the absolute reality. So that sarvatikrantam, that's what it means, I think. Or sarva comes later. So let us proceed with the bhashya. Esha tu vai ativadati yah satyena paramad satya vijnanavattaya ativadati. Esha tu ativadati. Hey Narada, this one really ativadati transcends in real sense. Who? Yeah, satyena ativadati, not pranena. So natu pranena, satyena ativadati. So having realized satyam, then one talks, then he really transcends everything. So says Anandagiri, Saha Ativariti Yataha Sanat Kumarasya Abhipraya Atah Eva Aha Iti Yojana. So Ativadi Atah Aha. Why did Atah? Therefore he said. What is therefore? Saha Ativadi Yes Satyena Ativadati. So one who transcends the speech by realization of Satya. His Ativadi in the primary sense is what is the opinion or view of Sanat Kumara. Therefore, when Sanat Kumara saw that Narada interprets Ativadi as the knower of prana, and Sanat Kumara says that no, Ativadi is the one who has realized Satyam. Therefore, he proceeded to say, Iti Yojana. Yes, Satyena means what? Paramartha Satya Vijnanavattaya Ativadati. Satyena means what? Satyena Ativadati. So Bhashyakara says Paramartha Satya Vijnanavattaya. Vijnanavattaya, by the realization of Paramartha Satya, by the realization or knowledge of Paramartha Satya. This is knowledge means aparoksha jnana here. So by the aparoksha jnanam or the immediate knowledge as a self. So knowing Paramartha Satya as one's own self, immediately seeing the self as Paramartha Satya. Or when self reveals itself as Paramartha Satya. The aparoksha involves no effort on your part. So when seeing involves no effort on your part, means self is revealing that way. Otherwise you'll think, wait, who am I? That's not aparoksha. So Nyayikas call this knowledge also aparoksha jnana because no effort is involved. Similarly, because this thing reveals itself in that manner, so when self reveals itself as Bhuma, that is aparoksha jnana. So whatever obstacles there are to the self revealing itself as Bhuma have been removed. So that is Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam, or whatever other people may say. People have different opinions about that. So they say that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam is what will remove that, okay? This one is Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam will remove. That means no. Your Chitta Vritti Nirodha, that will remove. So again, understand, everybody talks about the same thing, but they have their own recommendation or prescription of what will do that. So be sympathetic, as I said, and don't dismiss other things. Although there cannot be more than one path, etc., right? But still, Bhakti fellow believes that that is the path. And Jnani believes that that's the path. And Karmi believes that's the path. And Yogi believes that's the path. Because there are people apparently who have realized that through that means. And for them, that's what this Gita says. Gita, it depends on how you interpret the words. Tasmad asakta sadam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnodi purusha. Asakto hyacharan karma paramapnodi. So literally it means that one who performs karma with detachment attains paramatma. We say that through Antagana Shuddhi this, Sattva Shuddhi, Jnana Prapti. Okay. But someone says, no, this is what it says. So someone prefers or chooses to interpret that literally and say that karma is also a means of knowledge. And so, then you go to bhakti, same thing, upasana, same thing is said. Teshamam samuddarta nutya samsara sagarat bhavana charat pada maya vaishesa. No, you may say that this means there are steps in between. Okay. But someone said that this is what it said, literally, But anyway, so what I am saying is that how the people take those very same things and arrive at their own conclusions. I am not saying that you accept their conclusion or not. All I am saying is that these statements lend themselves to those conclusions. You can't just dismiss them or fault them. Not that we are going to necessarily accept everybody and try this, that and what not. You don't have, because everybody has his own orientation. So a person intellectually oriented this will appeal to him. If it is not oriented to this, so emotionally oriented, that will appeal to him. And then there are the fellows who are all meditation oriented, something will appeal to them. And activity oriented, something will appeal to them. That there are people having different personalities. One prescription cannot fit everybody. This is what the Udar Matavadis will say. People with not open but large-heartedness will accommodate everybody. So they will say, all religions say the same thing. Okay. We of course have a hard time accepting that. All right, that's fine. But where they come from, when they say that, it is not that they are saying, see, it's a political statement. Maybe if Mahatma Gandhi says that somebody may make a political statement to say that Islam says the same thing and Christianity says the same thing, Ramakrishna Paramahansa is not a politician anyway. Ramakrishna Paramahansa is not a politician, so he had no agenda. Gandhiji may have an agenda. What is the agenda? Freedom movement. So he wanted everybody together. He wanted to bring unity among the people. And so, okay, suppose that was his agenda for which he said, possible. But Ramakrishna has no agenda and Vivekananda has no agenda of that kind. Vivekananda I don't know, but Ramakrishna had no agenda. So, not that I accept it by the way, personally. I don't accept that every religion says the same thing, etc. But then, it is this, they claim that they have studied Bible million times and Quran 100 times and this is what we have found. Okay. But even our own text also, as I said, has statements which lend themselves to arriving at different conclusions. But here, so Paramartha Satya Vijnanavattaya Ativadati. So one way is, so Aparoksha Jnana is important. How that Aparoksha Jnana, that everybody accepts. How Aparoksha Jnana takes place, that is Vedantic Acharyas also have their opinion about it. Whether Aparoksha Jnana takes place by Nididhyasanam or takes place by Shravanam, or even after this, then it also requires prasankhya, meaning repeating Aham Brahmasmi, etc. So, how Aparoksha Jnana takes place, there are some variations also in the Vedantic teachers also. We should go by our teacher, that's fine. But all I'm saying is that there are, so Bhashyakara is Paramartha Satya Vijnanavattaya Ativadati. Vijnanavattaya, based on the knowledge or Aparoksha, immediate knowledge of Paramartha Satyam, meaning seeing Paramartha Satya as one's own self, and then one that Ativaditvam is the real Ativaditvam. So Satya Ativadati means what? Paramartha Satya is Paramartha Satya. So Bhashyakara says the word Satya here is Paramartha Satya. In that sense, what Ramanuja said is okay, but for them Param Brahma is not Paramartha Satya. For them Param Brahma is Shakti of etc. And then, so even though they use the word Param Brahma, may not use in the sense that we use. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya vyasya shasvatasya dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha. Brahmano hi pratishtha. So that is a statement there. Aham Brahmana pratishtha. So now that lends that gives in the room of saying Brahma is a Shakti, I am Shaktiman, etc. etc. So this is what they belong to. So even when they use word Brahman, they do not use in the sense that we do. So Paramartha Satya Vijnanavattaya. So Bhashyakara says that the word Satya that is used by Sayyid Sanat Kumara is in the sense of Paramadik Satyam. Saha Ativadati. He alone in a primary sense, if Ativaditvam is the sign of wisdom, then he is a wise person in the true sense. Satyena, and so says the Tika on line 34, Satyena Dishruto Itham Bhave Trutiya. So Satyena, Sanat Kumara says Satyena Ativadati. Means what? Satyatma Rupena. So Bhashyakara Paramartha Satya Vijnanavattaya. So Vijnanavat means what? Knower of Satya. Vijnanavatva means being the state of the knowing Satyam as the self. Satyatma, because Aparoksha Jnana means knowing as a self. So Tikakara says Satyatma Rupena, one who becomes Satya. Satyani means what? Satyatma Rupena, having become Satya, having realized Satya as one's own self. Then the Tika says, Tad Rupatvam Agnya Sadharana Vikasankyaha. But everybody is Satya. Every Atma is the Brahma anyway. So Tad Rupatvam. So Satyatma Rupena. If Satya is the Rupa, the Swarupa of Atma, but Satya is the Swarupa of every Atma, meaning that Tad Rupatvam Agnya Sadharana, ignorant person also, the self is Brahman. So Bhashyakara said, so Paramartha Satya Vijnanavattaya. Not merely as a self, but knowing Paramartha Satya as one's own self. Suvignana, no Ajnana Hityartha. Suvignana, but that Vijnana, Ajnani doesn't have. In that sense, it is a non-knowing the self as Satyam, as one's own self. Ativadati, so he is the Ativadi in the true sense. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om